So there was this time in my life that I remember very vividly. It was kind of when I first started getting into the self-improvement space. I started seeing all these videos, all these people. I'm super excited. I'm like, wow, I can finally get to the point where I'm going to start feeling good about myself, where I can make progress in my life, where I can start living the life that I desire. I started doing a bunch of stuff. Anything you could think of, I was trying it. I was watching countless YouTube videos. This person, they're giving me their advice. I'm looking at their lifestyle and what they're doing, and I emulate it into my own life. Now, I do this for about a year. The thing about my schedule during this time is I was absolutely filling it to the brim. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, I was doing something. It didn't matter what it was. If it was getting a workout in, if it was journaling, if it was meditating, if it was working on myself, like my face and my hair, using minoxidil, whatever it may be, everything in the books that you can think of, I was trying it. So I'm doing all this, and I see some progress. I get that excitement. I'm like, this is freaking awesome. I'm noticing change. I'm feeling a little bit better. But after about this year of doing this religiously, I got to a point where it all just felt like a waste. I'm doing all this stuff, and sure, I've seen some change in my life. But at the end of the day, I'm still in the same spot. Change has occurred, but not to the level that all these people were preaching to me. Years have passed since then, and a lot has changed. And chances are, if you clicked on this video here, then you probably relate to that story in one way, shape, or form. Where you are trying all of this stuff, but for some odd reason, you're not going forward. Now, looking back in hindsight, the way I see this is kind of like walking on a treadmill. I'm watching all these videos. I'm doing all of these things, no matter what it is. I'm throwing stuff at a wall and hoping that something sticks. But I'm walking in place. Sure, there's movement happening. My legs are moving, my body's moving, I'm going through the motion. But I'm on a treadmill. I am stagnant. It didn't matter what I would do. I'd stay in the same spot. Now, what I learned now is that it's not a coincidence. I'm not unlucky that I wasn't progressing and taking steps forward. It's because the stuff I was doing was not in line with the person who I wanted to become. Sure, if someone else lived this exact same lifestyle, it might have worked for them. There's a chance, I bet there's someone in the world, if they did the exact same things I was doing, it would check all of their boxes and they would be living their dream life. But for me, that unfortunately just was not the case. The way that I frame my routine now has to be very different. And I want to show you guys how that's done. Because if that is you, if you are that person who is early on in the self-improvement space, you're watching all of these videos, you want to become better, whether that's look better, feel better, become more successful, whatever that means for you, you just don't know how to do it yet. So let me show you something that helped me a lot, speaking from experience. I'll never talk to you guys about something that I haven't personally done myself. Because, first of all, it makes me feel like a fraud, and second of all, the advice is probably going to suck, because I haven't done it. So let me tell you how I got from this point, a couple years ago, to where I am now, to the point where every single thing I do, every action I take, is meticulously planned out to get me somewhere. And it is by thinking just like that. Every action that you take should get you closer to some sort of predetermined outcome. A lot of people will say, okay, I see these people who are training like a hybrid athlete, let's say. They're lifting and they're running. That looks awesome, I want to do that. So they will start lifting and they'll start running. Awesome, that will get you to a certain point. But people get lost because they do not know the goal or the end outcome they want to achieve by training in that manner. So their motivation will wear off, the excitement of it will wear off, and they will stop. You have to reverse engineer everything. Instead of just starting at surface value, saying, I want to start waking up earlier, you instead need to determine what your end goal is, which is, let's say, getting more done in the morning times or getting on a better sleep schedule so that you feel better. And then figure out what proven habits you can take that are going to get you to that outcome. So let's do a random example once again. Let's say you have a goal and you decide that you want to start losing weight. Instead of going on social media without even knowing what this end goal is other than losing weight and looking up how to lose weight, people are going to say, eat better, do this, fantastic. But you need to make things tangible. So instead of saying, I want to lose weight, a very broad generic term, you want to go into more detail. You want to say, I want to lose 10 pounds by this date. And then you need to figure out exactly what you have to do day in and day out, what actions you have to take to get you to that point. So 10 pounds in, let's say, 10 months. Being very generous, you'd have to lose 1 pound every month. Okay, that is a quarter of a pound every week. What you need to figure out what your maintenance calories are. Then you need to figure out what diet plan you have to eat or what stuff you have to eat to stay under that maintenance calories to lose 0.25 pounds per week. And then once you know all this stuff on the back end that most people learn over time, you know it up front, and now all you have to do is execute on the stuff that you know is going to get you to that endpoint. So look, that example might not resonate for a lot of you, and that is completely okay. It doesn't resonate with me. I'm a skinny mofo, and I'm trying not to be a skinny mofo anymore. It's a complete opposite of me. But you need to look and reframe the way you look at everything and all of the goals that you're trying to reach to be in this way of starting at the top and the end goal that you want to achieve, the person that you want to become, and then figure out the habits and the things that you need to start doing today that are proven to get you to that point. That way, you're not in this cycle of running on the treadmill, throwing everything you can to try and feel better when you don't even know what areas of your life are lacking that are making you not feel good. Take that step day by day. Add one thing into your routine until eventually the only things that you are doing on a daily basis are the things that are progressing you forward, getting towards that end goal. Reverse engineer. Don't just throw shit at a wall. Reverse engineer until you get to that point that you are hoping for. Now, this is fantastic, right? Okay, I just reverse engineer and I'm going to reach all my goals. Awesome. Still, unfortunately, it's not that easy. The thing about adding a bunch of stuff into your routine and throwing stuff at a wall until it sticks is you have something exciting being added to your routine again and again. You start a new habit. You wake up and drink electrolytes every morning. You stretch before your workout. These things that keep what you're doing exciting because there's something new being added to it. There's something like, oh, I can't wait to stretch before my routine hour or whatever it is. And then eventually, that new thing you added starts to get a little bit boring. Your routine starts getting a little bit stagnant, so you add something else. That starts to get less exciting, you add something else. And you keep stacking, which is how we get to this big old blob of a whole bunch of stuff we're doing that doesn't lead to growth. So, since we are only doing things proven to help us grow, and we can't necessarily keep adding a whole bunch of stuff to our routine because that defeats the purpose of our strategy here and how we're doing it, what can we do to keep our routine exciting, to stay on track, to continue that motivation day in and day out when we're doing the exact same thing every day most of the time? You need someone to hold you accountable. It doesn't matter who it is. Friends, family, spouse, partner, whatever it may be. Someone needs to hold you accountable. A lot of the time, the people in our lives might not be directly in line with what we're trying to achieve, and that's normal. Maybe they're not as focused on self-improvement. Maybe they are focused on other things that don't necessarily have this at the top of the priority, so they're not thinking about it as much, so they can't hold you accountable. Awesome. What you can do instead is find some sort of community. I have one. You can check it out in the description if you want. Basically, it's just a bunch of people who band together to help hold each other accountable, help give advice, give tips from what they're learning and what it's doing for them, so that everyone can grow in one pattern together, which is to the top, to the best version of themselves. This is a group of people who understand this technique, understand that you can't just do anything you want and expect to grow at a rapid rate. It takes planning and it takes execution. It takes hard days and pushing through those hard days. And that's what everyone is there to do. So if you want, check that out. Or if you have another community you can find, awesome. All I care about is you find something that works for you. Once you can do these things, day in and day out, religiously, having that discipline to actually execute them, and I have a ton of videos on discipline if you want to check that out, then there is no physical way that you cannot progress day over day. One of my favorite mottos in the entire world is 1% better every day. You're not going to ever make these huge movements where it's like, okay, I feel 100% better today. I made 10% progress today. It's never going to be like that. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. All that matters is that you get 1% better than yourself yesterday. Don't let this past version of you outwork yourself now. You have to be better than them every day, and sky's the limit. So, like I said, if you want more knowledge on this where I can go into more detail, to be in a community with a lot of other people who think the same way as you do, check out the link in the description if you want. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.